Today's lesson is over rates and unit rates. And by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to use rates and unit rates to compare two quantities that have different units. Now, before we get into our lesson, I have a quick story for you. This is my dog, Colby. She is a golden retriever. And as some of you may know, golden retrievers suffer from ear infections fairly frequently. So my wife and I were getting a little bit tired of going to the vet. It seemed like every couple of months. So we asked if there's anything we can do to help Colby out. And the vet suggested a special prescription dog food. And we go to PetSmart for the vet service. So we checked PetSmart for the food, and we found it there. And it cost $70 for 17 pounds. It seemed a little pricey to us, so we checked online to different websites, and we found a website called Mr. Chewy. And they sold the dog food for $100 for 25 pounds. So the question is, which dog food or which vendor should we buy the food from? If you want to pause video now and try this out on your own, feel free. However, by the end of this video, you will know how to do this. So a rate is the ratio of two quantities measured in different units. The word different is underlined there. It's pretty important. So bold it or circle it, something in your notes so it stands out. Then a unit rate is a rate that has a denominator of 1 unit. If a rate is not written in a fraction form, you can simplify the second quantity down to 1 unit. And here's some examples of unit rates. For speed, 15 miles per 1 hour. Gas, we have 309 for 1 gallon. Or taking a time test, 30 seconds per question. Notice we've got 3 different forms there. Okay, we have the colon that we know from ratios. We have fraction form, most common. And then we've got the word per. See, in fractions or in ratios, we have the word to. Unit rates, we have per. So a little practice with this. So during peak growing season, a vine can grow 6 inches in 12 hours. What is the peak growth rate of the vine in inches per hour? So we're going to write the initial rates with our units included. Make sure you have those. It will make solving these problems so much easier. So the given rate is 6 inches, and I like fraction form. So I'm going to put it over 12 hours. Again, notice the labels. Now we'll divide each part of the rate by the denominator. And unlike fractions, it is okay if we have a decimal in our numerator. So I'm going to rewrite this again, 6 inches in 12 hours, and we're going to divide each part by that 12. So what that does, it gets our denominator down to 1. So 1 hour in our numerator, 6 divided by 12 equals 5/10 or 1/2. So our unit rate for this problem is a 1/2 inch per hour. So you can try these problems on your own, pause it and come back, or watch me do them. Either way, these are your practice problems. So if you bike 68 miles in 4 days, find the unit rate. Well, we have 68 miles. Notice the order it's written in 4 days. We'll divide each part by our denominator. These are 17 miles on the top for 1 day. Next, it takes you 1 minute 40 seconds to walk 550 feet. What is the average speed? Average speed, we're going to have our distance first, followed by our time unit. So we'll say we have 550 feet, and then instead of having minutes and seconds in our unit rate, let's make it all into seconds. So a minute 40 seconds should be 100 seconds. So we'll divide each part of this problem, of this rate, by our denominator. which leaves us with 5.5 feet in 1 second. Sounds pretty fast. It really isn't. Finally, which of the following is the better buy? 2 batteries for $1.50 or 6 batteries for $4.80? So when doing this, you want to find the price per battery. So we've got on one hand $1.50 for 2 batteries. So we divide each by 2, which gives us 75 cents per 1 battery. Compared to when we do 6 batteries for $4.80. So $4.80 for 6 batteries. Divide each by 6, which gives us 80 cents per 1 battery. That's in the way there. So the better buy would be right here, 75 cents per battery. So we can go back to our dog food problem, and we figure out here that if we spend $100 on 25 pounds, it ends up being $4 for 1 pound. Then up here, we spend $70 on 17 pounds. Well, I don't have my calculator in front of me, but I do know that if we divide both by 17, it's going to be over $4 up here. Because 17 times 4 is 68, so we're over $4. So we ended up buying from Mr. Chewy, and we still do to this day. This concludes your lesson on rates and unit rates.